There are UK cities where locals won't stop for petrol after dark, not because they're nervous, but because they know better. Incidents stack up, word spreads quietly, and outsiders find out the hard way. These are the 10 cities people are silently routing around. Number 10 might surprise you. Milton Keynes records approximately 98 crimes per 1,000 residents. Its dispersed town design leaves petrol stations isolated, often far from police presence. Organised car crime targeting stationary vehicles has become common. Thieves operate efficiently because the road network provides multiple escape routes, and there is minimal foot traffic after dark. A businessman refuelling at Tesco near the point at 9:30 in the evening went inside to pay. He came back to find his passenger door forced open and his laptop bag stolen. Police response time was 45 minutes. Staff reported such thefts happen 3 to 4 times a week during dark evenings. The layout of Milton Keynes creates vulnerability because stations are spread across many locations. Sainsbury's near Bletchley is more secure, with multiple staff on site. Independent stations often lack proper closed-circuit television coverage. Complete fuel stops before 8 in the evening. Use only supermarket forecourts. Do not stop at independent stations after dark. Keep all doors locked while pumping, and keep valuables out of sight. Chester crime rate stands at approximately 88 crimes per 1,000 residents. The historic city attracts day tourists, but it transforms after dark. Riverside areas and town centre parking zones have become hunting grounds for organised theft. Petrol stations sit on routes away from city centre CCTV networks. A woman stopped at the Shell station near the Ring Road at 8:45 in the evening. She locked her car and paid inside. When she returned, she found her window smashed and her handbag stolen. Police response took 40 minutes. Other victims report aggressive crews approaching at pumps and demanding items immediately. Street robberies increased significantly over 18 months. The BP station near Northgate stays lit, but crews know staff shift times. The Tesco on Greyhound Lane has better security and multiple attendants. Never stop after 8 in the evening at independent stations. Do not carry visible bags. Walk with keys ready. Comply immediately if approached. Number 8. York. York records roughly 85 crimes per 1,000 residents, but concentration matters more than overall statistics. The university city attracts younger demographics and therefore younger crime crews. Petrol station robberies here often involve weapons threats, particularly knives. The tourist industry makes the city feel safe, but locals know the reality shifts dramatically after shops close and visitors leave. A delivery driver stopped at a Sainsbury's on the outskirts at 9 p.m. last October. He paid inside, and when he returned, he found his van door open and expensive parcels missing. The incident took maybe 2 minutes. What disturbed him most was realising he had seen 2 people watching cars in the car park, clocking expensive items, and communicating by mobile phone. This was organised reconnaissance, not opportunistic theft. Police response time was 50 minutes. Nothing was recovered. The petrol stations here present vulnerability because of the college population. Young people with disposable income stopping for petrol become targets. The Shell near Clifton has had 3 robbery incidents in the past year involving weapon threats. York station areas see increased crime after dark. For safety, use Tesco forecourts exclusively after dark and prefer supermarket locations with multiple staff present. Complete all fuel stops before 8 p.m. if possible. Ipswich crime rate reaches approximately 92 crimes per 1,000 residents, and the rate of violent robbery at petrol stations is higher than many cities of comparable size. The geographical layout means certain petrol stations sit on routes away from main roads, creating isolated conditions that criminals exploit. Organised moped crime occurs here less frequently than in London, but vehicle-based robberies targeting stationary cars are common. A man stopped at a BP station on the outskirts around 10 p.m. He left the engine running and made a quick transaction inside. He returned 5 minutes later to find his windows smashed, his leather jacket and his phone gone. No one was visibly loitering before or after. The attackers worked professionally, in and out, in perhaps 90 seconds. Police found CCTV footage showing two men walking, knowing exactly where to strike. This represents escalating sophistication in robbery planning. Ipswich has experienced a concerning rise in petrol station robberies targeting commercial vehicles especially. Couriers and delivery drivers receive unofficial warnings about which stations to avoid. Tesco and Sainsbury's forecourts are significantly safer. Independent stations after dark are increasingly dangerous. Plan stops during daylight only. Use forecourts inside major retail parks exclusively. Never leave vehicles unattended while pumping. Keep doors locked continuously. Number 6. Northampton. Northampton logs approximately 87 crimes per 1,000 residents, but robbery is trending upwards significantly. The town centre has seen improved police presence, but the peripheral areas and industrial zones around petrol stations remain under-policed. Crews operating here know that response times are slow, and chances of identification remain low. A courier stopped at a Morrison's near the town perimeter at 10:30 p.m. He paid inside, then returned to find his van breached. Delivery packages worth over £2,000 were missing. He tracked them via GPS later, but police indicated recovery was unlikely. Station staff say they see this happening regularly, and they stopped reporting after the first few incidents because nothing came of police responses. The crews here work efficiently, targeting specific vehicles they have observed earlier. Northampton's issue is the disconnection between the town centre and the outlying areas. Central stations get better security investment. Peripheral locations lack CCTV and staff. Avoid peripheral independent stations after 8 p.m. Use supermarket forecourts exclusively during their operating hours. Tesco and Sainsbury's near Northampton Centre have reasonable security and multiple staff. Never leave vehicles unattended at pumps. Keep windows closed while fueling. Ensure doors remain locked throughout the entire process. If you find this information valuable and want to stay ahead of crime trends in your community, please consider subscribing. We cover stories mainstream media ignores, providing real intelligence that genuinely keeps people safer. New safety guides and crime analysis every single week. Subscribe now and join thousands who refuse to wait until they're personally affected to understand the dangers. Number 5. Southampton. Southampton crime rate sits at approximately 89 crimes per 1,000 residents. The waterfront location and tourist economy create a false sense of safety. But after dark, certain petrol stations become targets for organised robbery crews. The port areas and industrial zones create routes for quick escapes. Navigation systems make station locations immediately discoverable, increasing targeting efficiency. A businessman stopped at Shell near the motorway junction at 9 p.m. He wanted to refuel before continuing home. He went inside to pay. When he came back out, his window had been smashed and his briefcase containing a laptop and documents had been stolen. The loss of irreplaceable work documents was worse than the financial loss. Police found CCTV footage showing two figures waiting specifically for his vehicle, suggesting prior surveillance of the location or the vehicle itself. Southampton presents a unique vulnerability because of the constant flow of traffic through the city. Transient populations create opportunities for criminals. The Sainsbury's near West Quay has better security. Independent stations on the periphery, particularly near industrial areas, are increasingly dangerous. Avoid them completely after dark. Fill fuel before 8 p.m. Use only supermarket locations with visible staff and comprehensive CCTV coverage. Keep all doors locked while refueling. Number 4. Colchester. Colchester has approximately 88 crimes per 1,000 residents each year. The historic university city draws many students, creating a younger population. Petrol station robberies have increased around campus areas and on routes from the city centre. The fragmented geography between the old town and newer developments has left isolated petrol locations with minimal CCTV coverage and little security staff presence. A university student stopped at a Shell station near campus at 9 p.m. He paid inside, then returned to find his car windows smashed and expensive camera equipment stolen from the passenger seat. He discovered someone had photographed his registration plate while watching nearby. This suggests organised crime, not random. Police response took more than 50 minutes. Staff say incidents like this happen 2 to 3 times a week during term time when students carry valuable items. Colchester's vulnerability comes from large student numbers and highly predictable daily routines. Criminals target specific vehicle types and times when students collect packages from stations. The Sainsbury's forecourt near High Street has better security infrastructure and trained staff. Independent stations near campus or near industrial areas are increasingly dangerous after dark. Do not stop at unfamiliar stations after 8 p.m. Complete fuel stops before dark. Use supermarket forecourts with visible staff and full CCTV. Number 3. Sheffield. Sheffield's crime rate reaches approximately 83 crimes per 1,000 residents each year. The industrial city, shaped by its steel heritage, attracts a younger student population that is vulnerable to organised theft operations. Petrol stations here have become increasingly targeted by well-coordinated robbery crews operating systematically. Robbery crime specifically increased 30.9% over 12 months, making it the fastest growing crime category. A taxi driver stopped at a Shell station near the city centre at 10 p.m. He went inside to pay, and when he returned, he found 2 figures forcing his passenger window open. They took his cash bag and his wedding ring, then disappeared on foot toward the estates. Police response time substantially exceeded 1 hour. Staff said these robberies happen 2 to 3 times a week at this location. The attackers work with military precision, knowing staff shift times and camera blind spots. Sheffield's vulnerability lies in dispersed petrol locations on peripheral routes, with an inadequate police presence. The Tesco near the city centre has better security infrastructure and visible staff. Independent stations near Attercliffe or on outer ring roads are increasingly dangerous after dark. Try to complete fuel stops before 7 p.m. Use supermarket forecourts with visible attendants. Do not carry wallets in plain sight. Keep car doors locked. Comply immediately if confronted. Number 2. Peterborough. Peterborough logs 124 to 129 crimes per 1,000 residents, making it significantly dangerous. The city sits at a major transport junction, attracting transient populations and organised crime networks. Petrol stations here experience frequent robberies, both at pumps and from parked vehicles. Crews operate with military-style efficiency, timing staff shifts and planning escapes via multiple routes. A taxi driver stopped at a Texaco near the city centre at 10:15 p.m. He had driven the same route for 8 years, and he considered this station reasonably safe. He went inside to pay. When he returned, his vehicle door had been forced, and his cash box and personal phone were stolen. The incident took no more than 90 seconds, according to closed-circuit television. Police response time exceeded 1 hour. He changed his entire work routine, and now he stops exclusively at supermarket forecourts during daylight hours. Peterborough's status as a transport hub creates vulnerability. Criminal networks know exact timings of staff changes. They know which locations have camera blind spots, and they know specific escape route corridors. Police presence is insufficient for the city's crime levels. Asda and Sainsbury's have significantly better security than independent stations. Never stop at independent petrol stations after dark. Complete all refuelling before 7 p.m. Use only supermarket forecourts with visible security and multiple staff. Number 1. Derby. Derby crime rate sits at 104 crimes per 1,000 residents. Robbery crime specifically increased 22.6% over the past 12 months. Derby has seen organised criminal infrastructure expansion involving systematic petrol station targeting operations. These are not random incidents. They are coordinated planning by teams studying locations, timing, response times and escape routes. A delivery van driver stopped at Shell on the Ring Road at about 10 p.m. He paid inside, and when he returned, he found his van door had been forced open. Expensive packages containing electronics worth approximately £5,000 were missing completely. He reported it to the police. They said 3 similar incidents occurred at that station in the same month. The driver never saw any police presence investigating, despite the station being a major crime location. He immediately changed his operational strategy and now avoids Derby completely overnight. Derby presents the most organised petrol station robbery infrastructure of the cities covered. Criminal networks here operate with shocking efficiency and systematic planning. Targeting is deliberate and intelligence-based. The Tesco Extra on Burton Road has better security than most. Independent stations on the outer ring road are increasingly systematic robbery targets. Avoid them entirely after dark. Complete fuel stops by 6 p.m. exclusively. Use only supermarket forecourts with substantial security presence. Keep your vehicle locked while pumping. Never leave anything visible inside your car. These 10 cities represent increasingly dangerous petrol station environments across modern Britain. Common themes are obvious: organised crime networks operating systematically, deteriorating police presence, petrol stations in peripheral locations with minimal surveillance coverage, and coordinated targeting of vehicles and drivers. This is not paranoia or exaggeration. These are documented facts supported by official police statistics, verified victim accounts, and recovered CCTV footage from repeated incidents across these locations. The solution is simple and clear. Plan your fuel stops exclusively during daylight hours whenever humanly possible. Use only supermarket forecourts with multiple staff members and comprehensive CCTV systems covering all areas. Avoid independent petrol stations after dark entirely. Keep your vehicle locked continuously while refueling. Have your keys in hand before you finish pumping. Do not carry visible, valuable items. If something feels wrong, trust that instinct. Locals avoiding certain stations after dark are genuinely smart, learned from incidents affecting people they know. Follow their lead. Be aware. Be cautious. Your safety is non-negotiable. Subscribe for information mainstream media ignores. New guides weekly.